And I want to thank all of you for your willingness to listen to me and to my opponents. I want to end with this very quickly. Martin Luther King gave his last sermon before he was assassinated in Washington, D.C. And the sermon was entitled, "Are You Going to Sleep Through the Revolution?" And in a very lengthy sermon, he went on to define 3 revolutions that he predicted would happen in America. Dr. King said we're in an industrial revolution. And he defined that this way. He said, if business and government don't learn to work together, a predictable thing will happen. Business will leave. And I challenge you to look back at the late 60s and throughout the 70s and ask yourself what happened. We had a flight of U.S. businesses out of the country because of the onerous regulations of a federal government. He said we're in a technology revolution. And he defined it this way: if employers and employees won't invest their time and their resources to upgrade the skills of their employees, then the most at-risk employees are the ones that can't handle the technological changes that the marketplace forces on the employers. And as you look at the end of the 70s and throughout the 80s, who was displaced? It was the worker that couldn't integrate the computer into the workplace, into their job. The last one's really the one I want to focus on. Dr. King said we're in a values revolution. And he defined it this way: if you're not as concerned with your neighbor's children as you are your own children, you'll wake up in a community you don't recognize. For all the challenges that we have in our careers and our communities, let me just suggest tonight that the solution to these problems is not the federal government. It's not a bigger federal government. It's not a federal government that spends more money. It's a federal government that gets out of your way. And more importantly, a public that understands individually we each have the responsibility ourselves to positively impact somebody's life, whether we meet them or not. We are at the tip of the spear of solving problems. The federal government is always too late, too expensive, and never accomplishes the types of change that are positive impacts on our livelihoods or our communities or our families. Thank you very much. God bless.